The Power of Your Subconscious Mind was written by a leading expert on the subject, Joseph Murphy. From my perspective, this book equates your subconscious mind with God, which is likely a different and challenging paradigm for some to accept. Anyway, I'd like to share with you a few things I learned from this book. 1. You receive answers to prayer because of mental acceptance about what you pray. Murphy proposes that your religious affiliation is not what makes prayer effective. Rather, it is based on your ability and willingness to accept what you pray. It makes sense that whatever you can and do accept on a conscious level has to be accepted by your subconscious as well. Another statement that expands on this idea is this one: the subconscious mind is subject to the conscious mind. What Murphy is saying is that you can train your subconscious mind to believe what you can accept on a conscious level. 2. Your subconscious mind has the answer to all your problems. This statement makes perfect sense if you don't have any problems with the idea that your subconscious mind equals God. Even if not for that, though, it speaks to the power of the subconscious mind. You don't need to go looking outside for the answers you seek, Murphy is saying. You can look inside, and pose questions to your subconscious. The answers may not come immediately, but your mind is always working on problems you submit to it even when you're doing other things, and it will eventually present to you a workable solution. 3. Faith is the only universal healing principle operating through everybody. I believe the implication here is that faith is created by accessing and harnessing the power of our subconscious minds. Illness, physical ailments, and even traumatic experiences can be healed by repeatedly submitting thoughts of healing to our subconscious minds. Can we be healed by any other means? According to Murphy, no. Faith is the universal healing principle. Of course, I don't think he would discount the importance of medicine and other orthodox cures, but I have to guess that in this case he is referring to instances of healing that have occurred in so-called healing services, churches, or religious gatherings. 4. If a prayer is answered, it is answered scientifically. What Murphy is suggesting is that there is a formula to prayers that are answered. He explains that science means knowledge that is coordinated, arranged and systematized, so the idea here is that we can cooperate with our subconscious minds to see more of our prayers answered. If anything, the entire book sheds light on how little attention and thought we give to our subconscious minds, and what fantastic tools they are in helping us achieve ends that we desire to see in our lives. 5. Don't compel your subconscious mind to accept your idea by willpower. Although Murphy does talk about presenting positive thoughts and images to our subconscious minds, he is also quick to caution us that we can't force things. Our willpower is limited, and it continues to decrease and diminish throughout the day. Can you imagine how tiring it would be to force yourself to think the same things and visualize the same images all day long? I think the idea is that we can plant seeds and nurture them, but we shouldn't be constantly uncovering the soil to see how our seeds are doing. We must keep pulling the weeds and watering the seed, and while that may require a daily investment, it shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes. 6. The world you live in is determined by what goes in your mind, regardless of whether you subscribe to Murphy's theology. I think this is something we can all agree on. What goes into your mind is hugely important. If you choose poorly, you'll assimilate bad attitudes, behaviors, and thoughts. If you choose well, you'll begin to see positive changes within yourself. What world do you want to live in? Have you thought about it? If you aren't sure what you want to achieve in your lifetime, it makes it much harder to select input that will assist you on your journey. If you are fully in alignment with your objectives, choosing the right input becomes much easier. 7. Man punishes himself with his false concepts of God. We create our own misery. No one else does it for us. I think I know exactly what Murphy was saying here. I can attest to the fact that my false concepts of God led me down a path of misery. In 2014, I went through a period of depression. Up until that point, I had felt that there was a clear path laid out ahead of me. Suddenly, that path disappeared and I could no longer see what was ahead. I cried out to God, but to no avail. My prayers kept hitting the ceiling. And, in retrospect, I feel it was my false ideas of the divine that were responsible for my bouts of depression. Mysticism is the belief that something outside you controls your life. Recognizing that you are in control and you can rely upon your subconscious mind for the answers you seek is empowering. Right or wrong is not something you can check against a book. Right or wrong is embedded deep within you already, and to try to fit yourself into someone else's ideas is to try to put a square peg in a round hole. Final thoughts: I take notes with every book I read, and when I put together a review like this one, I pick and choose a few points that I want to talk about. I have described these ideas in my own language and from my own perspective. The author may or may not agree with what I have had to say. In this case, Joseph Murphy is no longer with us, but hopefully I have done a good job of explaining the value that I uncovered in my reading. Whatever we sow, so shall we reap. I have used the affirmation technique for few of my problems and I am extremely excited when I get the results I wanted. Good thoughts brings happier and peaceful life, whereas bad ones will cause harm to others and to ourselves. That's what I learned in this book. I still can't understand few things. Maybe I should read them again to get to know them better. Totally The Power of Your Subconscious Mind is a good book. If you believe in something without reservation and picture it in your mind, you can remove the subconscious obstacles that prevent you from achieving the results you want, and your belief can become a reality. As an advocate of what is now popularly known as the law of attraction, Murphy shows that anyone can unleash extraordinary mental powers to build self-confidence, to create harmonious relationships, to gain professional success, to amass wealth, to conquer fears and phobias, to banish bad habits, and even to effect physical healing and promote overall well-being and happiness.